So here they are, the S-Works 8 Torch road shoe. They must have had some sort of marketing meeting where they decided on the name, and they could have gone with, you know, dynamic, lightning, something funky, and Torch won the day. I'm not too sure why, but so I'm just going to call them S-Works 8. And you can see here next to it is the S-Works 7, which has done 4 years of good service. I look back and I couldn't believe it. It was 4 years ago that I reviewed these, and I was very happy with them then. They addressed a lot of the faults in the 6, and they've been excellent really for the last 4 years, but as you can see, showing quite some signs of wear, especially here too, where my front toe hits the tire when I'm doing track stands and things like that. So yeah, there we go. They needed replacing basically. So I've been waiting for these to come out. They just have. And what are the main differences? Well, you can see that first of all, we have a nice bumper on the front. So we're not going to get wear when I touch the front tire, but that's good. The heel is asymmetric now. So if you see on the outside, it's reinforced like this, just like the old one. But on the other side, sorry, it's reinforced on the inside. On the outside, it's not. It's you see here both sides. This side just one, so it's an asymmetric heel. Not too sure what the science is behind that, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. The heel, you know, these shoes have quite a high heel retention system, which I quite like, as long as it doesn't dig into your ankles around this point here. I kind of got used to it, really. It's fine, and I like the fact that there's plenty of heel retention. It's quite a high heel. I've measured these, it's exactly the same. We have lost the front buckle, which is great because I never touched it. I don't know anyone that ever did. It's maybe you pull it tight first time and then you leave it alone. That's it. But I think the two boas are absolutely fine. What is interesting is that it's actually become a bit wider, because if you look here, you can see it's kind of that wide, which is what, 95 mil. These are a 41. But if you compare it to this one, you can see there's a big gap there. So it's wider. I mean, I think my feet are normal. I don't have especially wide feet or anything, but I guess there's going to be a little bit more room in there. I did find after 3-4 hours riding, these shoes would kind of start to cause a bit of toe pain, a bit of pressure points, and I'd have to loosen them off a little bit. Perhaps these will solve that. The boas seem to be exactly the same. There's not a lot of ventilation in either shoe really. There's just, you've got a little vent under here, which is kind of, it's very similar on this one. The leather, well, whatever it is, not leather, but synthetic material. It's not Dyneema anymore, by the way. They've changed it. This was Dyneema. This isn't. Probably to save some money, really. They've said, oh yeah, it's an improvement and much better, but probably just to save some money. They don't have to use the Dyneema name. Perforated for a bit of coolness. Less perforated than the old ones, actually. The tongue has suffered damage here where I keep putting them on and off. Whether that one will do the same, I don't know. It's 20 grams lighter. I haven't measured them accurately yet. I'm at work, so I've just used this. I've found a 20 grams difference in the new ones, which is nice to have. And now comes trying them on, the fit and how they feel to ride. Right, they're on, and as you can see, I set my cleats, I pushed the cleats right to the front. I'm not into this whole mid shoe pedaling thing, and I have them slightly ducky, slightly heels in, and so far they feel pretty good. Feel very snug, very comfortable. The familiar nice tight heel grip, which is good. You can feel that your heels are really well held down. The don't miss the little front buckle, that was pretty useless. You do have to make sure that the tongue is nicely seated before you tighten down the boas, because otherwise it gets uncomfortable. So just make sure it's nice and straight. You can kind of see how they're quite wide in the toe. Look a little bit kids primary school on a shoe thing. And I'm guessing they're a little bit less aero because they're wider, but you have lost a little front buckle, so maybe that compensates for that. Nothing to get too worried about. And there is 20 grams each shoe to the good. So yeah, I mean, the only place I would say where I feel it is on the outside of my arch down here. But so far it's fine. I mean, I won't be able to tell really how comfortable these are compared to the 7s for quite some time. But so far it's pretty good. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, the dreaded foot rub, which if you're doing a track stand and you have to change pedals, it's can be a bit annoying. And this is with my my cleats are as far forward as they'll go, so if you did have a mid-foot position, it would be even worse than that. The only way around it really is shorter cranks or bigger frame, but it's only really an issue when you're in super slow traffic, going around cars at 5 an hour, that sort of thing. But with this new bumper, I think we're good. That will help quite a lot. Right, so what's quite funny is I just got all these shoes to try on because I'm getting married in a few months' time, and I can't find shoes around here, so I thought I'd try some. But the value of all of these quite nice shoes altogether is less than the value of these. So something's going wrong somewhere. I don't know. I could wear these to the wedding, but I'd kind of slip over and stuff. So I've got to wear something like this. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of thinking this one, but yeah, somewhere something's wrong that all them 4 pairs are less than that. And I even got 10% off these as well. Right, quick weigh in. S-Works 7, 225. S-Works 8, 212. So they said 20 grams, 13. Maybe in the bigger sizes you get a slightly bigger saving. But that's worth having. Just for what it's worth, 34 grams for a brand new cleat. These are Dura-Race bolts and the blue cleats. 31 grams, so if you want to go light, you have to have worn cleats. So conclusions, well, I'm pretty happy. There's quite a few nice little changes which have improved things, I think. They seem pretty comfy. There's some nice ideas like the asymmetric heel support. They are a touch wider here. There's plenty of room for the toes. Nice little toe bumper. The carbon sole is quite different. This whole area here seems to be a little bit more elevated, or this is perhaps a bit more cut away, and they're talking about an I-beam here, which keeps the strength for less weight. Heel bumper doesn't seem to be replaceable unless there's a screw inside that I've missed, but after 4 years mine were still okay anyway, and I do tend to walk on them quite a lot. So yeah, it's not a long-term review. Obviously, they've only just arrived. I've only ridden like 40-50k in them. The only place I feel them at all really is here, which is odd because they're wide, so there's no reason why my feet wouldn't fit in there, and I think my feet are quite normal shape. But that's just I can feel it. It's not painful or anything, but that's where I can feel it touching. But yeah, it bodes well. I've got a nice big ride coming up tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I'll maybe put in the comments how that was, if there's anything to report. But so far, so good.